Much for staying with us. You're watching the AM show. Now let's have a quick conversation with Dr. Kingsley Agyemang. He's a member of parliament for Abuakwa South. But why? He's issued a statement in response to what the DVLA has said is a suspension of the registration of the DV plates. But let me just bring to you that statement quickly before we have that conversation. It quickly says that I issue this statement following the decision by the Driver and Vehicle License Authority to suspend the proposed new vehicle number plate system initially scheduled to take effect from 1st January 2026. The suspension follows serious concerns raised in Parliament regarding institutional readiness, stakeholder engagement, and the absence of the necessary legislative amendments to the Road Traffic Regulation 2012 LI 2180. It is also a matter of public record that on 23rd December 2025, the High Court granted an injunction restraining the implementation of the proposed system. While the decision to suspend is appropriate, the directive accompanying the suspension raises significant legal and public safety concerns, particularly in relation to motor insurance. The DVLA has directed that vehicle currently operating with drive from port, which you see as DP, and defective vehicle DV number plates should continue to use them until further notice. This directive is incompatible with the mandatory requirement of the Motor Vehicle Third-Party Insurance Act. And it's important that we speak to this man, not just because he's a member of parliament, but also an experienced insurer. Doc, thank you so much. Merry Christmas and a happy holidays.
Very happy weekend, Jennifer. How are you?
Very well, thank you for asking. Now, so while you acknowledge that the suspension is quite right, you have a few concerns. How exactly does this pose a threat to motor users?
Okay, thank you very much, and a very good morning to your cherished listeners. Motor insurance is a compulsory and protected party risk. Anybody that gets onto a highway. So let me just get a bit into it. You realize that you can't have laws without taking into cognizance as societal behavior. If you have observed, you can't get into the last quarter of every year. Anybody that purchases a car will want to register the vehicle in the ensuing year, so that they get a fresh registration. Because largely, vehicle prices are determined by the year it is registered. So if you have a DV, a DP, these are temporary covers when it comes to motor insurance. For instance, DP, some call it direct from port, others call it departure from port. The insurance cover that it provides is so limited. It covers just the driver and no other person that's in the vehicle, in addition to the third-party risk around. When it comes to the DV, it covers just the driver and the passenger without any other person in the vehicle. I realize that we use these DPs and the DVs with full capacity. Everybody that ought to be on the vehicle is in the vehicle, and it poses a very big risk for us. So that is why I'm raising a concern that the suspension of the new enforcement, meaning people are going to continue to use the DPs and the DVs without regard to our third-party liabilities or third-party risk, and in danger for the community.
Okay, but whilst you're raising the public safety concerns, the DVLA as an authority, are they in breach of any law at all?
Yes, because they are causing or permitting a vehicle that cannot be insured fully in consonance with the Third Party Act. The Motor Third Party Act is a compulsory provision of our law.
Yeah.
So if you are causing or you are permitting, it means that you are perpetuating an illegality. So the registration must continue from the 1st of January with the usual way of registering. Remember, when we say something is DV, what it means is that it's a defective vehicle. It means that it is not roadworthy.
Right.
It has not assumed roadworthiness for it to have full insurance. So it's a temporary cover that is given to the users of these vehicles. What I'm even more worried about is that the Commissioner of Insurance sits on the DVLA board. So how do we allow this thing to continue? You can't have defective vehicles flying on roads with the exposure to public safety, and just look on. Because then I see this festive season, even right in my constituency, there's a lot of accidents involving DVs and DPs. With this limited cover, what happens to the people who are not covered in the vehicle when these accidents occur? And there's a huge number of these DPs and DVs who were willing to register their vehicles in 2026. If you watch the insurance data, you realize that motor insurance picks up in the first quarter of every year. Now you are allowing this thing to continue until further notice. Who knows when the verdict will be, the injunction will be lifted or otherwise? It means that it is going to go into perpetuity, and it's a very dangerous thing to the users of our.
But you also raised concerns. You also raised concerns about amendments challenges. It looks as though the DVLA didn't really pay attention to thorough amendments of the existing laws before even calling out that they are going to be issuing these DV plates from January 1st. But
absolutely,
until then, which one is better? The suspension now, or the fact that the laws were not looked into thoroughly before the decision? Which one? How would you like that it's cured?
It runs concurrently. Once it is suspended, it means that we have to revert to the status quo.
Okay.
What we are calling on them is that let's revert to the status quo. When you are going through your various motions and you have the clearance, then you can institute what you want to institute. But it's a clearance to all heads of institutions. You can't just get up without other stakeholder engagement to look at the various legislations that you operate under. You have to really adhere to the various legislation. You can't come and later take an amendment or take ratification. They don't usually happen in a way of doing things. Now, Parliament, we are on recess. You have an amendment that has not gone through.
Yes.
You have to wait till we come back. And I'm sure we are likely to come back somewhere in February. It means that until then, between January and when we come back to give meaning to your amendments that you are taking from us, what happens to registration?
Okay, but I don't speak for the DVLA, but question though, when it says that it's suspended until further notice, does that not automatically restore the status quo already? Or you'd want them to come clearer? What are your demands?
They don't give that indication.
Okay.
They don't give that indication because I saw somewhere that even when people go to register, their vehicles, when they have a new amendment, they will have to go back and re-register again to have the new enforcement on their vehicles. Right. So that communication is not clear. So we are calling on them, they should come clearer that no, it's been suspended. Suspension means, like you rightly put it, what it means is that we are going back to the status quo. Nothing has changed. But the public does not have that indication.
All right. Doc, thank you so much for drawing attention to this. We shall as well be following this.
Thank you very much, Amifah. You're welcome.
We've been having a conversation with Dr. Kingsley Agyemang, a member of Parliament for Abuakwa South, who has been raising a few red flags on that suspension of the vehicle license plate that the DVLA was set to start from January 1st, 2026. We shall be following that story keenly for you. Right now, though, when I do a quick turn and I come back, I've got some good news for you. We're going to be talking about Strictly High Life. Stay with me.